Control, corner where we rise and roll. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Control, corner watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind.
From the shadows we move, striking out bright. In every twist we find the light. Breeding the best, gotta have patience in this game. Chondro corner where we make our name. Chondro corner, chondro corner, chondro corner, chondro corner, chondro corner, chondro corner, chondro corner. Chondro corner where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Chondro corner, watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind.
What it do, Chondro heads. Welcome to Chondro Corner Podcast, place where we green tree keepers, breeders, and reptile enthusiasts come together. I'm your host, Ro. Each episode, we're diving in herpology, husbandry, and breeding, and the stories behind the people in the reptile community. So you already know. Tonight we got another Military Mondays with my boy Adam. From deployments to herpology, man. Let's see how he get it, how he did it, how he overcame, PTSD, all of that stuff, man, tonight. But again, man, it's your boy Ro. Nothing going on over here. I did have my son about a week ago. So that's all been going on here. I promise y'all, I'm not, distancing myself. I haven't been just away from my phone, honestly, because the baby need taken care of. So yeah, I do have a little surprise from Dimitri coming through probably like in about a month or two, whatnot, when it's time to ship, But other than that, everything good. Everything is dope. Let's see who's in the Chizzy chat, man. Let's see who in the Chizzy chat. My boy Mike Duval, what it do, Mike? My boy, my other half, my brother, Wiz, what's going on? My boy Low Exotics, what's going on? How you doing? Clayton, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome. Mikey Marsh, what's good, Mike? What's good? But y'all, without further ado, let's welcome Adam, man. Let's welcome. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, bro?
Not much, man. Just another day. Another day.
Another day, another dollar. I hear you, man.
Right.
We've been trying to do this for about 2 months now. But my chaos of the work schedule is just
yeah, definitely. I'm glad that you could have worked it around for us, bro. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem, man. My friends know how hard it is for me to schedule stuff, and but we finally got around to it, so
Hell
here.
yeah. So for everybody that doesn't know you, can you give us a little bio?
Yeah, sure. So it's always a little weird to talk about myself, but name's Adam Salad. I'm focusing strictly on chondros right now. Been keeping and breeding reptiles. It's going to sound ridiculous, but almost 40 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So started young. Mom was a manager at a pet shop, the old school mom and pop pet shops before like the Petcos and PetSmarts took over, and kind of had my pick of whatever I wanted in the shop, and that's how I got my start. Everything from glass lizards to monkey-tailed skinks to turtles to frogs, you name it. I pretty much kept it.
Yeah. Where did you grow up again at?
South side of Chicago.
Okay. Gotcha. Where you was by Keno? How far you away from Keno?
So Chicago's it's a funny place because you type in your GPS. I went up to meet Keno and it told me it was a half hour, but then you got traffic and you got trains, and that shit took me every bit of an hour and 15 minutes to get up to them. So look at a map, you look at GPS, yeah, that shit'll tell you I was about a half hour away from them, but definitely took a lot longer to get up there. We're the third,
just like
third
Atlanta.
largest city. Yeah,
kind of like Atlanta. It take you 20 minutes to go 5 feet. Seriously.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But what year did you enter the military?
So I joined 2005.
Oh, that's when shit was fucking hot.
That's when shit was popping off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I enlisted. I was 24 when I enlisted. So I already, took my shot at the civilian life, if you will.
hmm
Um, so that's just odd in its own because you're in there with a bunch of 17, 18, 19-year-old kids. And here I
Yeah.
am, I've been working since I was 15, mechanic and everything. Took my shot at the real world and uh, needed some help, man, to be
Right.
honest with you. So I signed up a little bit late, but it was 2005 when
hmm
I joined. Yeah, I'm not sure where to go from there, but U.S.
Yeah.
Navy.
So
I'm a, I'm a,
what made you want to join? And what branch did you join?
all right. So what made me want to join was I was struggling, man. I was
hmm
bouncing from job to job, apartment to apartment, and I just needed some discipline.
As we
You
all
know,
do. As we all do.
as we all do, but to come to that point, and to say it yourself and be like, yeah, I need some help. You know what I mean?
hmm
So, yeah, I tried the real world at first, and it kind of kicked my ass a little bit, and then joined when I was 24. I joined Navy, U.S. Navy Seabees,
hmm
construction battalion. Um, didn't know much about it at the time, but thoroughly enjoyed everything about it.
Yeah, yeah. So what was your MOS in the Navy? What did you
Okay. Yeah. MOS in the Navy, we call it a rate. I was a steel worker. So
Mhm.
all your welding, cutting, putting up prefab buildings, um, combat construction.
come back for sure? Okay.
Yep.
I know it was some
So
long days out there, huh?
very long days. So um, CBs are interesting, man. Like they started off in 42, in World War II, and basically what they started as was a bunch of old construction workers getting enlisted um, to help with structural. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
one thing I don't know a lot of people they might not know is like every job you have here in the civilian world, there's a job for it in the military. You have
Literally.
shopkeepers. Yep, you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
everything,
Bro,
librarians, like fucking everything.
we just introduced a new MOS for people catering to horses.
Oh no shit. Yeah, see what I mean?
Literally,
Exactly.
all they do is for their job is take care of horses.
Yeah, when you
We got veterinarians in the army.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's true. Um, the second you tell a civilian that you're in the military, they think you're Rambo and just everybody's is spec ops. You know what I mean? But it's
mhm.
not the case. So construction was my thing. I always worked in the labor field, and I'm pretty good with my hands, so it was like a nice fit.
Mhm. Nice. So so you were just, backyard, hey, you fit right in.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, with that word. Yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Tell us about your deployment. Like
All
what
right.
was your favorite memory on deployment?
Oh,
Besides coming back home alive.
there's
Right, bro.
there's so many, and there's quite a few that I'm not sure I could talk about. But I deployed to Iraq in early '06, and well,
Mhm.
I started pre-mobbing um, in '06 January. Shipped out late January. Um, I was stationed at a couple different places, Balad and Al Asad Air Force bases. Um,
Mhm.
so well, I'm going to back it up a little bit because it kind of goes with the story and stuff like that. So when I signed, when I joined, I was going to my recruiter's office. I was literally begging to get in to the military. I needed the help and all that stuff. I talked to all the branches. I took the ASVAB, all that stuff. Um, and it was a different time back in '05. So
Hmm.
I didn't score high enough on the ASVAB to uh, go into Air Force. Now my whole family's been Army, so I wanted to go in the Army, but I had too many tattoos to join the Army.
Uh-huh.
Like they were nitpicking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I had too much of a criminal history to join the Marines. So Navy's where I ended up going. I had to get a bunch of waivers signed and all that stuff, and um, I wanted to go active duty, but they settled. The only way they can get me in with all my waivers and everything was supposedly reserves, and I had no idea at the time. And I was like, okay, that's cool. So I'm going to be back home and blah blah blah. Um, go through boot camp, and we're marching, and we see this other class across the way, and they look like a bunch of soup sandwiches, man. Just like not even first day type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like their
Yeah.
uniforms wrinkled. Like
Just
they're
just
all
shit
marching
bag.
out of step. Yeah, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? Because even on your first day, man, like they kind of they go, oh, those are the reservists. And I'm like, what?
Oh, hell no.
And I'm like, I'm a reservist, but you know, it was actually I did a full boot camp. So these guys were going in once a month for a weekend playing GI Joe, and so that was a little strange to me that I was a reservist and they were reservists, but I'm doing full time boot camp. Turned out like you really got to read your contract, man, because I ended up being a 2x skate. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Basically, it's 2 active, 2 reserve, and then 4 ready reserve. So my first two
Hold up,
years,
Adam. Let me look at the screen. Hold up, Al. Because on my side that you're frozen. Am I frozen on your side?
no, I could see you.
All right. Let me look on the actual stream and see. My bad. My apology.
Oh, no worries.
Okay, I think you're good now.
Okay, everything looked fine on my end, so not sure what that was. What was the last thing that you heard before I froze?
Well, you still frozen on my side. I hope it's not this because we supposed to got a tornado today, and I'm
Oh,
not sure. I hope we good.
so you can hear me, but I'm frozen on the screen.
Yeah, it's all good. We gonna go roll with it because everybody say we good on their side. So
All right, all right. So yeah, 2x skates, 2 years active, 2 years reserve, 4 years ready reserve. I had no idea that was even a thing. So I did my boot camp. I did my A school, which Army calls it AIT, right? Advanced Individual Training.
mhm.
Went through all that. Came home for about 2 weeks, and then we started mobbing, pre-mob, and getting all our paperwork and everything in order. You know, and then next thing I know, I'm over in Iraq. They just pushed it through, man.
Sheesh.
They needed
Sheesh.
they needed our skill sets. You know, my entire battalion and everything. I didn't even get to meet any of my COs, NCOs, nothing. Like everybody was just scattering, getting all their orders, you know, um,
Mhm.
together. Um, so my
Yeah.
deployment was to Iraq, and like I said, I was in bouncing back and forth between Balad and Al Assad Air Force Base. Um,
Yeah.
they also, so my entire battalion was going, but 15 of us got merged with an active duty battalion, which was NMCB 40, and they were stationed out of Port Hueneme, California. So I didn't even know anybody in my battalion. I started learning these guys over at 40, and then um, once we shipped overseas, then I got separated from them, and I was on a smaller detachment, which is me and some other guy. He was petty officer, first class, but we ended up going and being support for JSOF, so Joint Special Operations Task Force.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
personally, this is why like there's certain things I'm not sure if I could talk about or whatnot.
Mhm.
Um, we were working in support with the Berets, the Green
Yeah.
Berets. So no, so that doesn't mean I was out there doing Green Beret shit, but I was in support of them. A lot of the work we
Yeah.
did was in support of their missions. That's why like I don't know if certain things I could talk about, but one of my favorite things is the I'm going to say it backwards. I know I'm going to say it backwards. The Sergeant Major, right? The old salty dog of the Berets. Now, a guy
Mhm.
like that in Special Forces, he could pretty much do what he wants.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah.
when I got there, everybody was living out of tents and stuff like that. So part of my job was to start building more structurally sound yeah, anything. Get about tents. First things we were building were SWAT huts, and it's basically like small 8x8 apartments, enough to fit a bed in your sea bag. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we got them out of the tents and into these plywood mansions, I like to call them. And from there, you know, the guy's like, all right, well, we want a gym, so we built a fucking gym and started working on um, a comm center
Them
for
motherfuckers get everything they want.
yeah. So it was interesting because I got to build it, wire it up, hook it to generators, all that. But the second the computers came in, I was not allowed access anymore. You know, it's like there was some shit going down in those rooms that I was not privy to. Um,
Mhm.
but but the cool thing about it, you know, and then he's like, build us a grill. And so we built him a fucking grill. Um, and he started hosting all of his friends. And every Friday it was lobster and steak. He would have it flown in, and then this is just what I remember the most. Is just some of the coolest things. I got to meet people from all the different branches, all the different
Mhm.
you know special forces,
All the
Australian
different, yeah,
soldiers.
all the
Just
different areas and aspects of
yeah,
NATO allies.
exactly. So it was really cool. That was the spot to be where I was living on base at this in this area that every Friday the cream of the crop was coming there and just shooting the shit, having a good old time. You know, try to make it as much like home as you could. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No,
So
definitely.
that was fun stuff, man.
Mhm.
Some good
Especially
memories there.
back in '05, where everything was shit. You don't know if you was gonna make it the next day. Like kind of like these wars are and all that. You know how these wars are. You could pretty much map out your time. But
Yeah.
back in '05, what '01 to about I say '07.
So
That.
it was '06 that I was there. '05 is when I was doing my training, but
Mhm.
'06 is when I was there. But if you remember back then, we didn't go into country till about '03.
Right.
Even after '01 and all that, everything that happened in September 11th, blah blah blah. We didn't go in with mass forces till about '03. And then the bloodiest year they had there was '05. It was the year right before I got there, but it was still pretty sketchy. One of the bases that I was at was nicknamed Motoritaville, and for uh, I mean, if you get it, you get it. So we were getting hit with mortars day and night. You know,
Hmm.
they were strategically taking out our water supply and stuff like that. Like it was yeah, a little sketchy. That was the first place. That was my first experience in country.
Hmm.
So um yeah, you pretty much shit your pants when that's your first night there. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like it's just funny how you get used to it so quick. You know,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
twitching, every sound. Close to my first tent, there was a minigun on the wall over there that was, um, what's the word I'm thinking of? It was automatic. You know what I mean? Like There was no
Yeah.
one manning it. It was all computerized, and so that
Yeah.
thing would just start going off. And I'm what 30 yards from it, my tent, my first night there. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And why am I right here? Right here
Yeah.
by the wire? Like that's some sketchy ass shit. But yeah,
Yeah, you good, bro. Like, I mean, I was at Afghanistan and I seen my first IED. That shit scared the shit out of me. That shit
yeah,
scared the shit out of me. Like that much, then feeling the fucking ground rumble, and you traumatized. Like, you don't know what the fuck happened. But luckily, we was good to get out of there safe and all that stuff. So, man, it's scary over there, real
yeah. We
scary.
we we lost a few in a convoy by an IED. Um, Yeah, it's something you don't forget. I mean, you're in the convoy, but all of a sudden, everybody you feel it, you see it. The convoy stops. Like it's it's something you'll never forget.
Yeah.
And that was another part of
Yeah.
my
What
job
was
too.
what?
So other than convoy security, I was also a part of a road crew. So a lot of the IEDs that would tear up the roads on some of your main routes, supply routes and stuff like that, then I would have to go patch it up.
Hmm.
So that was another.
So yeah. So what was the hardest part of military life for you?
Honestly, the transition to becoming a civilian again. I mean, honestly, that was it. I mean, remember, I was older when I signed up. My whole family was military. I kind of knew what I was getting into, and I was mature enough to understand it, which a lot of the young folks don't.
Yeah.
Um, so, actual military life, like I said, I loved it because I needed the discipline, and it made me a better man for it. So honestly, the toughest thing about it was just transitioning from having all that structure to basically what you'd consider freedom. Like now, I don't have to report to anybody. You know what I mean? Like I'm on my own. I can do
Right.
whatever I want. That took a little getting used to.
Mhm.
And still to this day, I kind of miss. I'm more disciplined for going through it, but I don't hold myself to that standard anymore. I'm not strict on
Right.
myself. You know what I mean? Like, um,
Yeah.
can
You
I
can
if I want
relax.
to?
You're not in,
Yes.
you're not in military mode no more. You can relax. It's okay to make a mistake. You
Yeah.
know
Yeah, pretty much.
that's what it
You-
is. Because in the military, you can't make no mistakes for real, because you dealing with other people's lives, other people money, finance, uh, you know, kids involved too, and all that stuff. You know,
Yeah, it's accountability with like
yeah,
to the max.
for sure, for sure. But yeah, man. Got some more questions. What skills from the military still help you today?
um, don't want to sound like a broken record, but the discipline, I do. Um, it helps me with, you know, for example, quarantine regulations, how I treat my collection. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I have rules that do not get broken whatsoever. Um, to my wife's dismay, I don't bulk wash
Mhm.
water bowls. I do them one at a time. Everybody has their own dedicated water bowl. You know, so and same
Mm.
with feeding tongs. Everything is separate. It'd be easier and faster to do it in bulk and do this? Yes, but then you can't have cross contamination. So I'm very, very strict on that routine.
Yeah,
So like when
very,
people ask me
very
about
meticulous.
very meticulous, exactly. People ask me about a quarantine regulation. My quarantine never ends. You know, I work youngest to oldest. Everybody's got their own dedicated water bowl. Everybody's got their own dedicated feeding tank. You know what I mean? Like it's very strict like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's needed in
yeah,
those
it's a good word
hobbies.
for it.
Seriously.
Structure. Yes, that's a better word. I keep saying discipline, but structure. So the structure definitely it helps me in keeping of my snakes and stuff like that. And also just never like getting overwhelmed. Like I do better in chaos and more calm, cool, collected than I do when things are going normal. If that makes any
Yeah,
sense.
because you got time
Uh,
to think and you got time to get in your fucking head and shit. Just same thing
yeah.
with me, bro. Like when I'm busy or whatnot, that's when I work the best. But
Hmm.
when I'm relaxed, everything just all the shit. No, I need that. I need that structure.
Yeah.
So,
So that's another thing that I carried over. I mean, it's a good question. There's probably more, but I'm not coming up with them off the top
mhm.
of my head right now. You know.
No, it's all good. It's all good. How did you like deal with PTSD transferring out of the military?
Um. Well. I like my drinks, man. Really. Um. It definitely helped me. I'm also like I'm pretty quiet and stay to myself. I don't, I'm not one of those talk about feelings too often. Like it's just not something I do. I kind of keep everything tight.
Mhm.
Um, but that in time, staying busy, no matter what it is. Find you something. I got so many hobbies. I got too many damn hobbies. I play the guitar. I build models. Well, I haven't built a model in a long time, so I sound like a liar. But little car models, build
Yeah.
Firebirds and shit like that. It's meticulous. It's so between reptiles, playing the guitar. I'm a big gamer. And just keep my mind occupied. And
Mhm.
it's what I've always done is just staying
Yeah.
busy.
What kind of games you play? What system you play on?
I play on Xbox. Um, what I'm jamming on now, I'm a Call of Duty guy. Basically zombies and multiplayer is what I do. I'm not huge into the Warzone and stuff like that. I like
Yeah.
the Silent Hill franchise. I like the Resident Evil franchise. Um,
Yeah. That one just came out. I might get that. I might get it.
yeah, I got to get it. I buy my wife she's a bigger fan than myself, and she gets every one that come out. I have not bought that for her yet, but I will be. I've heard good things about that. I've heard good things about this latest one.
Bro. Bro, I just brought me a Switch last week just so I could play that new Pokemon game. Like
You,
because you can only get it on the Switch too, or whatever, the
yeah, I was
game.
gonna
So I
say
was
you
like,
got the Switch too, right? Like the newer.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
I want to get one, but the whole point is like I want it from when I'm not at home, and then you need Wi-Fi connection, right? You need some kind of internet connection in order to play it. That's the only thing that's stopping me. I miss the old
I
school
don't
days.
I don't think so because I don't think so for unless you playing like games with internet, you know, like that need internet like Fortnite and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it because, I do miss the days like the Game Gear, Game Boy. A lot of these systems today, you need internet. Like, so I bought all these games, right? But if my
Hmm.
internet goes down, I can't even boot it up on the new systems. You know what I mean? It's like, well,
Yeah.
what the fuck did I pay $80 for, bro?
No, seriously, bro. It's the amount of money. And then I got kids, so they want everything I want. So man, daughter got a PlayStation. She got a Switch too. Man, I'm
I
telling you,
just-
these kids they keep you broke, bro.
Well, I'm telling you, you got it good right now because they just want the systems. My kids, they want gaming computers, and the jump in cost on that shit, man, it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, instead of a $500 system, you're buying a $1,500 tower, and that don't even come with the monitor. You know, it's insane.
Yeah, man. So what year did you get into chondros?
So I there's they got into chondros, and then it's when I got my first one. So I want to say it was about someone's shooting out there. About 2001, maybe 2002. Um, I used to get the Reptiles magazine shipped to my house every month, and then me and my brother would fight to get to that fucking mailbox. You know, we both wanted to read it. Um, and on the
Mhm.
cover it was the first time they covered green tree pythons, you know, chondros. So uh, that magazine, and it did a step-by-step color change, you know, big old fold out and thing of it. It was amazing. I was blown away. Never saw anything like it before. And then later on that year, it was either the first or second. Don't quote me on this because I'm old and I don't remember shit too well. But it was first or second Tinley in October, and didn't know him at the time, but Rico was there, and they had all the fucking chondros and these acrylic cases and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
yeah, it was around
I know
2001,
that was a sight to
2002.
see right there.
So to see it in the magazine, right, and then a couple months later to go to, you know, at the time it was like the very first or one of the very first shows, at least here in Chicago, the NARBC,
Mhm.
and then to see them there, and I was just awestruck, just staring at these
Mhm.
things, talking Rico's ear off. Had no, I barely had enough to get a ticket to get in. So I wasn't gonna buy a snake, you know. I mean, it was just me and my brother would just go to these shows. Just we had to scrape for ticket prices, and then that's what we did, was just to look at the animals. So that's when they grabbed my attention. Um, I didn't get my first chondro until it was December of '06. It was right after I came home from deployment.
Mhm.
So a couple years after.
Yeah. Now you've been working
So
with them for a long, long time.
yeah,
Seriously.
and I just lost that chondro earlier in 2005. So she was with me for 20 years, 19, almost 20 years, and she
Oh my
taught
God.
me. Yeah, she taught me everything, man. Gave me a couple clutches and taught me how to keep these things without killing them. You know, and um, you know, you're
Mhm.
talking back in '06, man. Like not they weren't popular like they are today. And there wasn't all this information out there like there is today. It was taking a lot of the knowledge that I had from all the other species that I used to work with, or just keep, um,
Yeah.
using that
To
as a
come up with
base.
your own formula.
Yes, yes, exactly. I mean, all reptiles are pretty much the same. You know, they have a baseline of temperature. They need to feel secure. You know what I mean? Like it's tweaks here and there for different species. A little hotter for this one, a little colder for this one. You know, a little more humid for this one. But the baseline is the same, right? You know, they need warmth. They need a basking spot. They need a place to feel comfortable. And so a lot of that stuff just
Mhm.
already came naturally. So it was really cool, man. Yeah, she was a special snake, that's for sure.
Mhm. Hey Adam, do one thing for me. Hey, go out and then jump back in because you still freezing up on my end a little bit and it's
All right, let me
broken up a
see.
little bit. So yeah, just jump out and then click the link again.
All right.
Nah, my bad, y'all. I don't know. Maybe it's just tornado because I know it's a big storm going outside right now. So yeah, that's what might be going on with my internet. Trying to make sure it's right. His video clear on YouTube. Okay. I think it's my Wi-Fi then, like I said. Because it's a storm going outside. We got it right here. All right, you good now? Yeah, you good. You good now.
I'm good now.
End. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, everything over here looks good, so I just kept rambling, you know.
Yeah.
But
okay.
All right, so yeah, 2000 end of 2006. It was right before the new year. Got my first chondro. That was my only chondro for a very long time. During that time, I was also me and my brother. We were breeding boas and breeding leopard geckos.
Mhm.
So
But like
that's where a lot of our
boas?
space. Like yeah, BCIs, just your straight up red tails, you know.
Red tails. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, you was working with them big snakes, you know, them big girthy.
Yeah.
them bitch. Hey, that's a lot of muscle, bro. That's a lot of muscle be throwing around.
Oh, it is. You feel it when you pick them up too. When they're just trying to get stable around your arm or something like that, you're like, God damn.
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of our research we were doing those small scale. And then we were on that the leopard gecko morph when that was popular and taken off. A couple odds and ends here and there. And then it wasn't until I'm gonna make it a little sad here. My brother passed away in 2013, and then I had all these animals that we had together as a collection, and it became too much for me to do by myself. Right? I've always, you know, yelled at people who would buy these animals and then like just get rid of them because they outgrew their tank or whatnot. You know, like you're making. You're giving this animal a life. Like you shouldn't be so quick just to toss it because it's, or you know, sell it off or give it to animal welfare because,
you're
you
not
know, it ain't
properly
right for you.
To keep
Yeah,
it, you know.
Yeah. So I felt really guilty about getting rid of a lot of the animals. I produced all these animals, you know what I mean? Like, and now I'm just like giving them away to people and getting rid of. I pretty much got out of the reptile hobby. I kept two animals. I kept my chondro, and I kept my brother's favorite snake. It was an albino red tail. He was so happy when he brought that thing home. So those were the only two that I kept, and that brings us to around like 2020. And my one buddy hit me up, asking if I still had the chondro and this and that, and you know, I want to give a shot breeding it and all this. And I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? You know, had small success. We got clutch. The clutch didn't last, but we got eggs. So I was like, oh shit, I can fucking do this. You know what I mean? Like,
hell yeah.
And that's where we were talking backstage. You know, my wife, she kind of pushed me. I don't want to say she pushed me, but she enables me. Once I realized, hey, I can actually do this, because you got to remember also, like before 2020 and all that, it was well-known knowledge that these things are impossible to breed and you're going to kill them and this and that. Like, just how far we come since, like, you know, 2019 as far as being able to reproduce these things, the husbandry, you know, and so much has changed just in the past 6-7 years. It's insane, for the better, you know. But yeah, she enables me, and that's when I decided to focus strictly on chondros. The albino red tail had passed away. He lived another. It was like another 21-year-old animal, so he lived a long life. But then I was just down to my one chondro, and so I started adding to the collection, and I'm focusing strictly on chondros.
Who was like your mentors in the chondro hobby?
I love this question. Trial and error. I didn't know anybody in the chondro community.
Mhm.
I zero. I knew nobody. Everything that I've done up until this point has pretty much been from my experience and trial and error, what works and what doesn't.
Mhm.
Is there people I look up to now? But of course, there's a lot, but I wouldn't call them mentors. I don't.
Yeah.
I've never. I think I hit up Patrick and Bill on my first clutch, and it was towards the end. The eggs were starting to fail, and I was just like, "What's going on?" They're like, "Oh, yeah, it's probably not going to happen." And like that's the extent of my mentoring. You know what I mean? Like then I just
Yeah.
tried it again 2 years later and it had some success. I didn't know anybody until I mean, well into like 2021 before I even learned what that there was groups on Facebook. You know what I mean? Like so
Yeah.
um I've gotten a little bit of tidbits of information that I plucked from those
From different
Facebook pages
sources.
and stuff like,
Yeah.
yeah. But as far as a mentor, yeah, I wish I did. I made a meme and I'll share it with you. And I was like, the guy's like, you get paid? I don't know if I'm referencing that right, but I changed it to like, you guys had mentors? Because I would hear people talking about mentors. And I'm like, I wish I had someone in my back pocket. Like
Right.
maybe I would have had a little more success early on. But no, it's all good, man. Like I'm glad that we're at that stage with these animals and people can have mentors and stuff like that. I just learned from reading what little I could in books from the
Mhm.
library because yes, I'm that old. I used to go to the library and research all my reptiles and stuff. Card catalogs, not Google. um,
Right. Oh shit.
yeah.
Oh shit.
It might be a baby face, man, but I'm a bit older than that.
Hey.
uh,
Um. So, what was you getting your hands on when you wanted? You started breeding. What did you get your hands on?
all right, so my first animal was a sarong that
Mhm.
I got from the Chicago Reptile House, which is owned by Brian Potter, one of the co-owners of NARBC. That was interesting because that was one of the first like reptile only pet stores back in the day, back in the
You sent me
mid.
a picture of that sarong, correct? Right?
Yes, it did.
That blue. Okay. I just want
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
that's her. That's my baby. Um, I ended up getting that animal. It was still
It look real
unchanged. It
blue.
was some of that is maternal. I mean, she was a
Mhm.
blue animal, but that was after her second clutch. So um, yeah, she hit that maternal blue and just became this gorgeous snake. And you hear true blue, hormonal blue. The animal turned blue. It is what it is. It's
Right.
a gorgeous snake. It doesn't make it any less appealing to look at because it's maternal. You know what I mean? Like, um,
Mhm.
anyways, when I bought her, she was just feeding on fuzzies still, so she was a very tiny yellow Neo. So when I walked into the shop, they had two. They had a red Neo and they had a yellow Neo. And then again, this is going back to when that these things are impossible to feed. They're like, they'll give you such a hard time. So I had just asked the guy, I was like, can you feed it for me? And I was eyeing the red one. It was a dark maroon, nice yellow pattern. It tucked its head and ran away. Um, he approached the yellow, which was that's Ripley right there, and she smashed it. And I go, I'll take that snake. And yeah, never regretted it from that day. Who knows what would have happened if I would have grabbed that other snake? Would have lived 20 years. Would have would have given me eggs. Would have been a female. I'm
Mhm.
so happy with that choice, and that's partly the reason why I do love my yellow neos.
Mhm. I love
All right,
yellow
so
neos too, especially that stuff that Mark working with. So
Yeah, so I pretty much have a closed collection, but there's two people I would open up my collection for if timing and money was right, and that'd be one of Mark's yellows and one of John Leckie's yellows. But
Hmm.
other than that, I have the genetics in my collection right now. That I'm very very happy with. Getting a little off track. So you were asking about. Let me see if I can rewind
What
that a
I,
little bit.
I was asking about, like, what could you get your hands on at the time? That's what I was
Okay,
asking.
so the first the male that I got, which is the sire to all of her clutches, was a Cyclops. Was a yellow Cyclops that came from my buddy, and he's the one who um, we did a breeder loan at first to try to get that first clutch.
Hmm.
Um, Shortly after, he's a carpet guy, and he was just struggling a little bit with. He had two green trees at the time, and um, asked me if I could help get that one back on track. It was a male Cyclops, and my wife called him up and said, "You're not getting the snake back," because she fell in love with it. She fell in love with it. You know, when I was feeding them up, get some stuck shut off and this and that, and
Yeah.
um, and she just fell in love with that animal. That's still her favorite snake out of our collection today. Um, and he said, "Yeah, that's cool." And she didn't tell me about
Like,
this, by the way. She didn't tell me about this. I'm messaging with him, and then he hits me up, and he told me what what she said. And I was like, "You fucking said that? That's his steak. You can't just be like, I'm fucking Deboing this shit."
right.
But
Hey, your wife a gangster, bro. She a gangster.
uh, she is. And then my buddy also knows, I'm good with the chondros and stuff like that. He's like, he's better off in your hands. So there comes along my second snake. You know, was the male Cyclops. And from there, I just started collecting a little bit. See, like every 6 months, I was acquiring a new animal, um, and that was just I was collecting what I could afford, and then I really honed in on what I wanted to do and what I
Hmm.
wanted to focus on. So then I started buying for um, the lineage, and um, yeah, the two snakes after that I got both were Biax, and they were both red, but I didn't want to work with red. I didn't decide that at the time that I bought them. I bought them because they were great looking steaks, But then I
Yeah.
decided this is the path I'm going to take, and then from there
Mhm.
on out is when I started building the yellow collection. So
Hell yeah.
that probably started about 2021, 2022, something like that. Then I was up to four, and then they just kept growing after that.
Hell yeah.
um,
Hell
and right now, I have a few mature animals, but the bulk of mine will be coming of age in the next year, maybe two.
yeah.
So I have, like I said, Ripley, the blue strong you just posted up. You just posted up there. She passed away after giving me one last clutch.
Hmm.
Um,
How many
the only other
clutches did she give?
she gave me three,
Oh,
and
that's
the
good.
first
That's
one
great.
at her
Actually.
age, that was great. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like her first clutch that I got was she was like 16 or 17, and then that clutch completely failed. I don't know if it was on her side. I know some of it was on my side. Uh, I wasn't dialed in with my airflow in my homemade incubator, so they seem to have gone bad pretty quick. Then she gave me a second clutch. I gave her a year off. Gave me a second clutch 2 years later. Um, and then all the eggs went the distance. One hatched, one survived, and then I had like six dead in the egg.
Oh.
Um, I didn't, I didn't pip, I didn't pip, or if I did, I did pip. It just wasn't as big as it should have been. So you
Okay.
saw the tooth marks on the eggs; they were trying to get out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Another,
Oh
so that
man.
was another learning lesson. So yeah, the first two, I had one survivor from the
Oh
second one, and then
man.
Her third clutch she gave me when she was 19, and she gave me 6 good eggs. And I knew there was a good chance that she wouldn't make it after the eggs. But I was back and forth on it. Like, do I try it again? Do I not? And I'm like, she's not guaranteed to wake up tomorrow. So I was like, yeah, fuck it. One last shot. And then she gave me 6 eggs, and all 6 hatched. One failed to perch. So I have 5 survivors out of that last clutch.
Mhm.
And the one that failed to perch was also a twin. It had a very underdeveloped twin that probably took a lot of its, yolk and all that stuff.
Yeah, fluids and
And
all that.
of course, it was in my eyes the best looking Neo. Like this thing was a
Yeah,
stunner
that's how
as
they
far
always
as
be. The good ones don't make it.
I, I heard it. I heard people talk about it, and then for it to happen to me, I was so excited when I saw that one come out the egg. And the pattern, the boldness, the wideness
Yeah.
of the dorsal, everything was just what I wanted. And then, yeah, it just never perched. And but I ended up with 5 out of that last one. She gave me 5 babies out of, at 19 and a half years old.
Mhm. Damn. Hey, Big Mama, she
Yeah.
was doing it. She was doing
Yeah,
it. Grandma was
and
doing it.
she passed away about a week after she laid, so she gave me that nice little parting gift.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what that happened with my first ball python clutch or whatever. She ate, went on food, and all that stuff. It still just passed away. Like maybe a week and a half later after she laid. She was only like maybe 11 years old at the time. So I don't know.
some things are just out of your
Yeah,
control. You know what I mean? Like you
yeah.
hear other people talk about it all the time, that you're going to lose snakes if you try to breed snakes. I knew there was a
Mhm.
good chance with her because she was 19 years old. Like
Yeah.
I was just glad that she actually gave me eggs. And then
Hell yeah.
to go
Hell
back and continue what we're talking about. So now I only have at the moment one mature female, and that's my lottery reptiles maniac. So
yeah.
she's about 7. I tried pairing her up this year, but 2 different times, excuse me, 2 different males, and she just didn't take. Um, so I'm going to try her here in the spring because I knew Ripley's cycle like the back of my hand. I lived with her for 20 years. I'm having a hard time figuring out. I'm thinking she might be a spring girl because she just is not. She didn't take in the fall. She didn't take in the winter. She was not locking up, not letting the males lock up.
Mhm.
So I'm going to try her in the spring, probably here in a couple weeks. Um, so that's my only mature female. I got plenty of mature males. I am male heavy.
At the
So
moment.
at the moment, yeah.
What's your female to male ratio right now?
That I know of.
Hmm.
Okay, let me do some math here. I got
Oh shit.
2 that I know of. I have 2 females, 4 males, and a bunch of unsexed.
Hey, sometimes sometimes it be like that.
Yeah,
Sometimes it be like
the
that.
it was actually more too, but I did give one of our friends one of my snakes because it's more along the lines of what they're working with, and I was just way too male heavy, and I needed this the cage space.
Hmm.
So I did get rid of one of my males, and when Ripley was still alive, that evened out the numbers a little bit better, but. Yeah, unfortunately, she did pass. So now I'm waiting, and then I should find out very soon. I think they're big enough to go ahead and probe some of the 2025s, and
Yeah.
see what I'm working with. I got 5 of them, so um, fingers crossed for a couple of females in there.
Yeah. Are you what do I say? Are you probing by yourself or you got somebody help?
So this will be my first time doing it, but I'm helping. I'm having Mikey Marsh help me. I helped him
Oh,
probe some
oh
of
yeah,
his.
you got Mike. Yeah, you good.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Me and
good.
Mike, we're we're good, man. We don't live too far from each other, and we like to enjoy the occasional garage
Man, I
beer.
gotta come up there, bro. I gotta come up there then because y'all having too much fucking fun up there.
For
Yeah.
real, man. I know you came out one Tinley. Is a possibility you stopping out in October?
Oh yeah, I'm coming October for sure. I already put my leave in, my time
Nice. All
off.
right. We'll have
Yeah,
to definitely get together then. So,
definitely.
um, yeah, Mikey. Basically, I held for him last time while he did the work. So now that and those were his animals, and now that these are my animals, I'm gonna just bring them over there and say, "You hold them," and
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah,
we're
go
gonna
ahead and
learn
put
new.
him to work. He need to do some work anyways.
Yeah.
Now shout out to
So
Mike, man. Mike got what I think 3 clutches this year already. Hey man,
he's
shout out
got
to Mike.
he's got he's got three on the ground. Uh, so yeah, he's doing his thing over there.
Mhm.
I've
He
watched Pat do it in person. I helped Mikey do it last time. So
Yep,
it's time to get my hands dirty with my animals and um, figure out what we got here.
for sure, for sure. They said, Chad said, how many years did it take for you to see progression with your project from when you started the beginning with pairing and seeing the progression with projects?
So I'm still in the process of seeing progress with my projects. Um,
Hmm.
everything that I've produced right now has been from the same pairing.
Yeah.
So all the animals are just different from different years.
Hmm.
Um,
I
so
say you really like with that stuff with line and lineage and all that stuff, you don't really get to see a progression until you bred for a good 15 plus years. You have multiple generations and all that stuff, proving lineages out and identifying certain traits and phenotype throughout the lineage.
yeah,
So,
so the phenotypes that I'm shooting for, or what I would like to get, like I said, those animals, there's going to be a couple of them ready this year, and then a couple more even next year. So I'll be putting that to the test, and then you're going to have to wait a little bit to see the results. Something interesting though about like
uh,
the two animals is my Cyclops Sarong, both yellow Neos, and
mhm,
what I was shooting for was that they both had solid blue dorsals, um, and nice patterning, nice sharp triangles, and that's why I decided to put those two together. And all the babies do have it. All the Neos do have it. What's interesting is when the lone survivor of the 2023 clutch, and this
mhm.
is probably a big old nothing burger, but it's just something I noticed. So along the sides, and this was, obviously it was a yellow, so it's yellow Neo. Along the diamonds, there are orange or brown spots, just probably a cluster of like two scales on either side of the diamond on all the diamonds, going all down the back. And I was like, okay, that's kind of strange. I'm like, it's kind of a quirk. But then I produced all the 2025s, and now all the 2025s have changed color. They also have the same thing. And now I've scrolled through pictures of all the outcrosses that I could,
Mhm.
everything. I've never seen it before. Is it nothing? It probably is nothing, but all six surviving animals that I've produced all have just that quirky little trait. You know what I mean? Like it's just something to follow. It's interesting.
Mhm. Just to look for.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't do it again. The female passed away because like if she did it with a third club, well, hey, I might be onto something. With these little orange brown spots, and they're not all over the body. They're only on where the dorsal meets the triangle. It's just kind of cool. So, um, but yeah, as far as I got plans of what I want to do with my projects, and
Yeah.
um, as far as some of the younger lineage animals that I have. Um, so we shall see. That's to be determined.
Hell
I got a
yeah.
lot of different routes I can go. I've think I set myself up nicely with genetics and phenotypes on some of
Mhm.
the other animals, and I want to work with yellows. I want to get more blue into the yellows, and it's been told that that can't be done. But the interesting thing about yellow neos is everything that's maroon when they're born, at least 95% of it is going to turn blue.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of your red neos, they'll have a cool pattern, but by the time it changes colors, and I've seen pretty, highly sought after animals turn straight green.
Yeah.
You know, but with yellows, 95% of that maroon pattern is going to turn blue. It might be a dull blue, might be a sharp blue. So what does that tell you? Let's try to work and get more heavily patterned yellow neos,
Mhm.
right? It's going to turn blue. So now that's one way you could bring blue into yellow neos. You can also, the different shades of blue. Uh, Look at animals like aquaberry.
Powder, that powder blue.
Yeah, there's some that are just electric, and there's an animal that I sent you. Um, the blues on that thing are insane, and it comes from the animals, the parents. So you can bring blue into yellow from a more pronounced pattern, and I think through mixing some of the shades of blue.
Mhm.
That's just my thought. I'm
And
out to prove it.
we barely scratching the surface. Honestly, we barely scratching the surface, and we got a lot of leg room to touch in this hobby.
Oh,
You
for
know,
sure.
a lot.
So
So
that's a little insight on a few of the projects that I want to start working on. Um,
mhm.
as
Let's look
far
at
as
some of
bring,
your
yeah, but
some
let's
of
bring up some of the snakes.
yeah. This one is. Let me look on the. I gotta
I can
pull up
tell
the
you,
list.
yeah, that's AS2501. So that's some of this past clutch. Again, it's the Cyclops Sarong, both yellow neos. He's got a cool pattern compared to the rest of them.
Mhm.
That one, these things, that clutch, that animal that you're looking at right there, that clutch turns 1 year tomorrow. It was like St. Patty's Day. It was like they started pipping on the 16th. The last one came out on the 18th. So they're my St. Patty's Day clutch, right?
Mhm.
Uh, that's a cool looking animal right there. I nicknamed him Double Tap because he was one of them snakes. When I'm trying to establish him, he would grab and wrap, and then as he's wrapped, he would just let go of his mouth and then look at me like I was an idiot, and while I'm waiting for him to eat it. And if I left him alone like that, he would drop it and not eat. But presenting him with a second pinky, then he would smash that and start eating instantly. So that's Double Tap. Uh, yeah, like you can kind of see. You start looking at the diamond, you see the orange, like where the dorsal meets the diamonds. The more you look, the more you'll see.
Yeah.
It's like an orange or a brown. So that's what I was talking about earlier. Every single animal that came from that pairing has that, even though neither of the parents have that. It's just a very interesting and two different clutches,
Mhm.
but all of them have it to some varying degree. So it's just something cool. I don't know, something I'm keeping an eye on. I don't think it's,
Oh no, it's all. Hey, I say
record
documented.
breaking.
Everything is
Yeah.
documented. The more details, the more people can look in your files and be like, yeah, this is such a thing. Maybe 20, 60 years later. You know, this mother. Hey, this motherfucker here. Shit. Shit.
That's my meatball. That's the one I was telling you about. Like its blues just pop. So that's a grandson of the sickness. That is a sickness lineage animal in yellow form. It was the first yellow lineage from sickness that Bill produced. So I snatched that up real quick, wanting to work with the
Mhm.
yellow. So now I have it doesn't have the phenotype. It's not showing a ton of melanism. Actually, when it was younger, it showed a lot of melanism, and it all just kind of faded away. But it's fine. Those blues are electric. So if the pairing was the flu maniquari on that. So the flu, being one of the sicknesses, kids had some incredible blues on it. So when I saw him pairing that to a Maniquari, I bugged the shit out of Bill. I was like they had just he posted a picture of them locking, and I said I need one of those kids, and of course Bill being Bill, and he's like,
I need one right now.
he's like, it's not proven to have anything, and I was like, yeah, I know, and then she ovulated, and I messaged him again. I'm like, I need one of those. So I bugged him through every step of it, and then I would have been happy if it was a red, but luckily enough, that clutch produced 2 yellows, and I got one of them. And that I said that was I didn't say the name, but that was one of the females I was counting. That is not a probed female yet, but everything that animal is coming up on 3 years, no plugs. The way it's built compared to the rest of my animals, you can just you kind of know at a certain point. But I'm going to prove it out here the springtime when I could bring some of my snakes over to Mikey's and prove them out.
Mike said you establishing all his all his yellows. Mike said you're establishing them, man.
I'll have the room because I'm moving all those 25s up to Cambros here very soon. So my Neo rack will be empty, Mike.
You're going to need the space with 3 clutches.
Yeah, Mikey doing Mikey things.
Right. Over there creating the whole Chondro army. Seriously. A little Neo army. But what's going on with this? Oh, my God. This thing is insane.
That's I'm not supposed to have favorites, but
we all do. It's okay.
So that is my lemon tree kid. She's coming up on. I'm sorry, I said she. He. Pat probed this one. This one came from Patrick. He went live and showed this clutch and talked about the lineage behind it with having blood from Old Yeller, Lemon Tree, OSHY, Kofiau Biak from Rico himself. I would run out of room trying to write down the animals. Trooper Wall's Blue Line is in there as well. So with that clutch, Pat was pretty busy, and he was like, I'll get back to you. And I was like, because I need one of those. And then he got them established and this and that. The funny thing is, that is the first animal that I did not get to choose myself. Everybody else that I had dealt with up until this point, including, Bill and Lottery Reptiles, so I got to pick my animal. I didn't really have a choice in this one. Pat's like, this is what I got. He's like, most of them were spoken for because that was a mostly red clutch. There was a couple yellows in there. And with the lineage, everybody jumped on the reds like instantly, just took them and stuff like that. Well, I'm into my yellows. So he basically said, this is the last one I got. So I took it. And, I
know he regretted it.
I know. Maybe just a little, because that is the only one that turned out with the phenotype like its father out of the entire clutch. It is definitely the best. Yeah, it hit. I had no choice in the matter, and just worked out in my favor.
Pig. Oh my God.
Yeah, we probed it. It proved out male. He's creeping up on 2.5. He's someone I'm thinking about trying in the spring. A little young, but figure what the hell. And one of the thoughts in my mind. So you have a super high yellow lineage animal. All right, he's expressing the phenotype. And if that sickness lineage animal does prove out to be female, well, now you got melanistic blood with high yellow blood. You kind of see where, that might be happening sooner than later.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see all the influences on that animal. If you look at by some of the blue scales, you'll see some of them are still like a violet. That's coming from the Kofiau, all the Kofiau lineage in that
Oh yeah, for
animal.
sure.
You can see it. I mean, it's small on my screen, but you know,
No, well, I can see it on my screen real good. So yeah, the purples, the teal blues, the greens, the little speckled greens. Dang,
yeah,
that's nice.
it's a stunner of an animal for sure.
Here we got also this one. I love this one
Okay,
too.
so that one is one of my 25s. That's AS 2502 during its color change. Um, and I think yellow color changes are underestimated because they happen really fast. Like from the onset
Mhm.
of it, it's like over instantly, and like reds have that nice drawn out. Takes a lot longer, and more. I mean, some of these things will change in like 3 days from yellow to their pretty much their adult colors. You know what I mean? Um,
No, seriously.
but when they're going through it, if you can catch it, I think they're absolutely amazing. Green, blue, and yellow. Just
Mhm.
really cool animals. That one's got some really cool eyes too.
Nice. We got also this one. Sorry, my mouse. I need to get a new mouse.
All right, so that's a clutch mate. That's 2505. That's the only one of the five from 25 that has not changed colors yet.
Mm,
But that was my favorite out of the egg. Other than that one that passed away that I said had never perched, out of the
yeah.
ones that perched, that one was my favorite, just because of its
Oof.
pattern, its dorsal. It has the triple iris from the Cyclops side of the pairing. It's
Mhm.
just a really cool animal. Uh, that one has made me put in the work to establish it, but it's
Hey, as long as you got it, you got it.
yeah. So that was taken. I think I took that picture like 2 or 3 weeks ago when we had like a 70-degree day out here in Chicago. It's
Mhm.
20 degrees right now, so that's our
No.
weather for you. But I snuck that picture out there because I wanted to see. I got terrible basement lighting, so I don't really get to see what these animals look like
Yeah.
until I can take them outside. And um, yeah, I'm excited for this one. I want to see what
Oh
it
yeah, for
turns
sure,
into.
man. That thing look nasty. That thing crazy. I love that.
Yeah, every time I posted the Neo pictures of that, it's everybody was nothing but
And how
positive
old is
reviews
it
on that
again?
one. That'll be a year tomorrow.
Oh,
So the
still
rest
haven't
of its
started OCC. God.
yeah, the rest of its clutch mates started around 8 months, and they're
But you said that was
pretty.
a late bloomer too, though. So
Yeah, he had a double shed, which is something I never come across before. So he shed. And then when I went in there to go clean it up, I noticed he was opaque. And then I'm like checking the shed. I'm like, no, this is a full fucking shed. So he went through like 2 shed cycles, but he never shed the one skin. I've heard of it before. I've never had to deal with it. And after that, he went off food for the longest time. I could not get him to eat. I
mm,
call him. Everything's a him until I could prove otherwise, right? Um,
right.
So yeah, it went off food for 2 months, and he finally hit a corner, and I just bumped him up in prey size. And actually, he's just slightly smaller than the rest of the clutch. Like he caught up quick.
Hmm. What do you feed? What's your feeding regimen?
So for these guys, from neos until basically subadults, I feed once a week.
Hmm. What do you feed?
So
Like rats or
So all
stuff?
these like right now, this one just jumped up to hopper mice. It was on fuzzy mice forever.
Mm,
Even though he was big enough to take a hopper mouse, um, he every time I presented him a hopper mouse, I don't know if it looked too big to him, he wouldn't do it. But I would switch it out for a fuzzy, and then he'd smash it. And then I'm just happy that it
mm,
was eaten right after a 2 month hunger strike. But he finally got moved up to hoppers. So yeah, I feed everything's cold blooded cafe. Um, I start I start my neos on red hots, and I just kind of work them up according to size, and then by the time they hit large mice, So you go from hoppers to small mice to medium mice. By the time they hit large mice is when I start pushing them back to every 2 weeks.
Hmm. Okay.
So, so that's my
I
feeding.
don't
And
know
then,
why I feed mine rats instead of mice, and I feed them every once and a half weeks or 2 weeks. They're that
okay.
age now that I can. I don't know because with the rats, they pack on a little bit more fat. And the
Oh,
mice, they be cruising around the cage, all that good stuff. They working it off and all that.
hmm.
But I like my chondro to be a little beefy, not obese, but a good muscle. See that good tone.
Yeah. I hear you. So for the most part, what I gone to over the years is I'm tending to keep mine a little bit leaner, my
Hmm.
animals. So pretty much everybody's on mice except for my females, which are normally bigger. So they alternate between small rats and jumbo mice,
Yeah.
depending on what I'm trying to do. If I'm trying to pack some weight on them, then they'll get a couple of small rats. But um,
I'm very satisfied with Cold Blooded Cafe with their quality and deliverance on their packages because sometimes
yes,
I order a wing rat or a small rat and it looked like a wing. I'm like, what? That's from Rodent Pro, you
yeah,
know. And I'm like,
I
what is going on? And then when I switched to cold blooded, everything was fine. So
yeah. So yeah, like there was a time where I was just getting whatever I can get, right? And I used to order my rats. I live, you know, 20 minutes from Tinley, so March Tinley would show up, October, and I would stock up on my rats. But then there was a couple of shows I always preferred cold blooded, but they weren't there. So then I would settle for Rodent Pro because
mhm.
that's what was available. I didn't like it. I didn't like also, and I don't mean to like knock on anybody here, but their customer service was a little bit rough. When I was talking about comparing prices with cold blooded, I kind of got an attitude from one of the ladies, and I was like, that's not the way to get customers. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't
Yeah.
you, in order to keep customers, be like, all right, we'll see what they got, and if maybe I'll match their price. Like that's how business is done. But I got like total attitude, and that turned me off. And I wasn't a huge fan of the quality either. So I've gone strictly to cold blooded over the past 10 years or so, and um, what's really cool for me is like um, I'm losing my train of thought,
Pretty good.
but yeah, they're shipping. They're shipping spot on. I'm getting my shit within 2 days. Frozen. I like the quality. Their sizes are stable. You know, there's a
Mhm.
you're always going to have some variance when you buy a package of 50, right? But everything's pretty much always in the same range, and I like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. That's what I like. And their rats or their rodents a little cleaner.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I could see
yeah,
that.
their packaging and to me,
You're not
to me.
pulling out, yeah, you're not pulling out something that's got a little yellow tinge to it and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's a little
I hear you.
questionable. You know what I'm saying?
But
But
cold
yeah,
blooded's always done right by me. No, never no issues, no quality issues, no price issues. They've been good the whole time. I dig them.
okay.
So if I ever decide to let any of these animals go, man, they were all raised from their first meal to their last, all on cold blooded.
Hell yeah. But yeah, man. So what else can people expect to see from you? Like how many clutches you got paired for the next like year or two?
So the next year or two, I'll probably, like I said, one or two possible pairings just because of some of the animals' ages. Some of them need a little more age on them. Um,
Hmm.
I tried here in 2025 the same female, two different males, and it just didn't take. I'm going to try her in the spring, and then when fall rolls around, I'll have another female who will be up to age. And that's where, so everything I've produced so far has been an outcross. And now I'm going to start messing with some of the lineage animals, shooting for high yellow animals, shooting for, possibly some melanistic animals, but everything will definitely have nice blue dorsals. If you look through my collection, you will see a common theme. You scroll through my Instagram, you will see the blue dorsals. All the animals have it. It's something I'm going to incorporate it into my plans. Very poultry based. A lot of my animals have poultry in the lineage. So I like the body structure of poultry animals, sarong, maniquari, I like the black tails. I like the solid dorsals. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm shooting for. I also, a couple of my females are, maniquari biak and then sarong biak. So again, it's still poultry to a biak. And those are my outcrosses. So you heard a lot of people talk about like get yourself a designer animal and then pair it to, your favorite locality. Well, I'm going to take it a step forward. I'm going to start pairing to my favorite outcross, if that makes sense. Because like your poultry biacs, they're known to throw tricolors. You got your blues, you got your yellows, you got your orange, green. I don't know where orange came from. But the tricolor. So those are the females, and then I have some stud lineage males that I'm going to start putting to them and see what happens that way.
Okay. All right. Before we wrap up the show, I have some fire questions, some rapid fire questions, real quick. So just say the first thing that come to mind. All right.
I'll try.
All right. Your favorite snake species?
It's gonna be chondros, and it's if I got to pick a specific subspecies, it's gonna be sarong.
Okay. Favorite reptile to own?
Favorite what to own?
Favorite dream reptile to own.
Oh, okay. Other than the generic answer would be chondros, but I already have them, and there's some that I would like to get, but I'm gonna go a different direction. And it would be a paradox Dominican red mountain boa.
Bro, oh my God, them things are so beautiful.
So yeah, if you know the Dominican red mountain boas and the variants of reds that they come in, the paradox is basically like the piebald version of that, and that's an animal that I've been eyeing for a long time, but I don't see any paradox out there anymore. Underground Reptiles used to have some about 15, 20 years ago, something like that. But I would say that if you don't know what they look like, do yourself a favor and Google the paradox Dominican red mountain boas. They are fantastic.
All right. Next question. Field herping or breeding?
Ooh. Well, currently breeding. Overall, and like my lifespan of doing this, herping, man. That's where a lot of my love for these animals came from, was field herping.
All right. Next question. Coffee or energy drinks on deployment?
Coffee. Coffee. I'm a coffee guy. I can't do energy drinks.
All right. Last one. Favorite reptile moment?
Favorite reptile moment? It's probably going to be generic, but watching the first chondro ever produced poke its head through that egg.
No, hey, shit. That's somebody dream right now. That's probably my dream. Hey, watching that thing, I'm like, yo, I did it. I did it. So,
Yeah. You put in the work, you watch this thing like a hawk, you're watching these eggs and for it to finally come true. And like I said, my first clutch completely crashed. You know what I mean? So that sent me back 2 years. Yeah, so yeah, it's fantastic. And it's something I thought about bringing up on the show. I know we might be running a little late here, but for any future breeders out there too, just because you got a boy and a girl does not mean it's going to work. Don't set your sights like, yeah, this is going to happen. I gave away a pretty good looking snake because he just couldn't get the job done. And I had planned on this animal getting the job done for about 4 or 5 years. And when it came down to it, he did not. So you just got to keep your options open. Like there was nothing more that I wanted than this particular pairing to take. And it didn't. And the way I even named the animals was like going to be a whole thing, right? And it just didn't happen. It could have happened maybe, I don't know, a couple of years from now, but I decided to go in a different direction. I just saw a post of some guy like 7 years after trying this particular pairing, they finally locked. I forgot who it was, but that was just right before the show.
Tim?
It might have been Tim. Yeah. So just keep your options open and don't settle for, you got this boy, you got this girl, it's going to work. Conjure gods have different plans.
Okay. Where can everybody reach you at? Your socials? Even though it's going to be in the link in the bio.
Yeah. Just hit me up on my Instagram. That's dedicated strictly for my snakes and stuff like that. So it's Adam_salad_reptiles. You could probably just type in Adam Salad Reptiles and you'll see it. Just hit me up there. I spend more time on there than anything else nowadays, and it's dedicated strictly to the animals. So hit me up there, man. Any questions, man? I work a really crazy schedule. I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you
maybe in a month or two, but hey, we got it right. It's definitely worth it. Worth the wait. But yeah, just hang out backstage real quick while I say goodbye to everybody. Hey, that's episode 69 with Adam. Congrats. Thank you.
Thank you.
We here on the Herp Collector Network doesn't take your time for don't take your time for granted. Thank you for coming out. Now I'm saying, because this time you could have been spent with wifey and stuff. So really appreciate that, man.
And I appreciate you having me on, man. Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap. It's your boy Ro here. We finna go ahead and call it a night. We got the baby in the background crying, so I'm finna go ahead and do my daddy duties, and that's about it. I will talk to y'all next time. We got Phil on next week. I'm not sure who he have coming on, but yeah. Appreciate that, G. All right, talk to y'all later, man.
Corner where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Corner wants the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind.
From the shadows we move, striking out bright. In every twist we find the light. Breeding the best, gotta have patience in this game. Control corner where we make our name. Control corner, control corner, control corner.